In today's video, we're going to look at an area within the Waterloo region that's often overlooked by many because it's the furthest west. It's the furthest from the GTA. Geographically, yes. In practicality, no. There are some great options within North Dumfries, located near the highway, and there's some great amenities to be had. Not to mention, it's an absolutely beautiful place. Before we get into the map tour of North Dumfries, I will give you a brief overview of the township. Now, the township is the furthest south within the Waterloo region, as well as somewhat the furthest west, but it has great access to Highway 401. And I find a lot of people, when they do reach out to me looking for some recommendations on where to live here in the Waterloo region, I find that North Dumfries is somewhat overlooked, being that it is the furthest from the GTA, but then again, it does have two fantastic areas of human habitation near the highway, and it isn't as far as you think. Both Roseville on the northern side of Highway 401 and Ayr on the southern side. We're going to start off here in Roseville. Now, Roseville is a very small little community here. Large homes on larger lots, estate style, mostly built 70s and 80s. And it's just a slice of rural living. And you're very close to both the city of Kitchener as well as Highway 401. And there isn't really that many amenities within this area, but you are close to a new grocery store and shopping center that is being built in Kitchener, which is only a 4-minute drive. In this area right here, this is called Rosenberg. They are building right now. There's Fusion Homes. This is already Kitchener here. They're building brand new homes, luxury homes, and you're only a 4-minute drive. This is Longos is going to be in there. There's going to be a Shoppers Drug Mart and many other smaller retailers. And in terms of getting onto Highway 401, if you are looking to commute, you're only a 4-minute drive to Highway 401. So Roseville is an excellent option. There isn't too many homes that come up for sale in this area, but it's definitely something to look at. Moving on, we are going to go south to the village of Ayr. Now, Ayr is absolutely fantastic. Much like New Hamburg, if you've seen my other videos highlighting other townships within the area, Ayr and New Hamburg are very much alike. You do have the Nith River, which runs through the downtown core of Ayr. Ayr has a population of about 7,000 people, and many of your amenities will be met within this area. On the northern side of the town, you have the North Dumfries Community Complex. You will also have Foodland, which is a grocery store. There's an LCBO in there. There's a Tim Hortons. There's a gas station. So a lot of your daily conveniences can be met in Ayr. And then, of course, you are very close to the highway. As you can see here, on the northern bounds, the highway is right here, and you do have a dedicated entrance to Ayr, which you won't really find in most other townships within the Waterloo region, unless, of course, you're looking at the larger cities, which are Cambridge and Kitchener. The one downside I see to Ayr is you have a freight train which divides the city in half. So if you are living on the northern half, maybe the freight train won't be a bother to you as much, as you won't be going far south unless you are going to downtown. But if you are, regular commuting to Toronto, or if you're regular commuting to Mississauga or anything like that, or to Kitchener, it may not be that much of a problem. But of course, if you are on the southern bounds here, that's something to be a little bit more cognizant of, is that freight train that does travel throughout the day. Now, talking about commuting, how does it fare against the other cities within the Waterloo region? Well, if we look at Kitchener, Ontario to Mississauga, it is about an hour drive. If we look at Cambridge, again, 57 minutes. And if we look at Ayr, it's not that far. It's an hour and 3 minutes. So compared to Kitchener, it's an extra 3 minutes on the highway. Not that big of a deal. And of course, with Kitchener being developed further and further out, there might be more traffic jams. This is a Saturday around 12:39 p.m. in the afternoon. There isn't that much traffic, but sometimes that does play a factor into the travel times. Now, let's look at some of the great real estate options here. And I think there's everything between great entry-level homes in this area, as well as brand new homes that are being built on the southern end. In this area here, lots of luxury homes, beautiful lots, 50, 60 feet, built primarily in the 90s. I'll show you some images on the screen right now of what it looks like. Here again, 90s, slightly smaller homes. This is a great area here for your first time home buyer. And one that recently sold was this one right here, which sold for $605,000. It was nearly 1,300 square feet above grade, single car garage, built in the 1990s. And no, it was not a dump inside. It was actually quite nice, quite well renovated from top to bottom. So definitely a great entry level option. And of course, freehold. You won't be paying condo fees in a detached home like this. So that's one thing to look at forward to is Air does have these options of smaller homes on smaller lots, and they are detached. So the price that you're paying for a townhome in Kitchener, you'll be able to get something in Air on the detached side. Another great option for kind of that first time home buyer as well as that move up buyer, maybe you're moving from a condo, is this one right here, which sold for $820,000. It has 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, fully finished, built in the mid 2000s, and it was fairly nice inside. This is an excellent option. Of course, you get the double car garage as well. So for $820,000, this was an excellent option which recently sold. I get calls from people just like you looking to relocate here to the Waterloo region. And if that's you, you certainly can in the first link in the description, or call, text, or email. Now moving back to the map, we'll zoom out here a little bit more. So again, you have this population center, Roseville. We have Air. We have a bit of a commercial industry here beside the highway, a lot of trucking manufacturers and the like. And then here on the eastern side here, we have Orrs Lake. Again, another little small community, lots of lakes nearby, hence the name Orrs Lake. And then of course, you are very close to downtown Cambridge, Westgalt being one of my favorites here within the Waterloo region. Moving on, you have Shep's Subdivision. Now, this is a great area. I've never seen really any built out communities the way Shep's Subdivision is. It is absolutely unreal, the elevation within this neighborhood, right? You're just south of Cambridge, so you're gonna have a lot of elevation coming from Cambridge here. There's quite the drop off here, kind of somewhat of an escarpment, feels almost like Hamilton in this area. That's how I feel like. And then of course you do have views of the river. And Shep's Division is going to be this area here. And you're going to find a lot of very unique homes, as you can see from the images here. The only thing I don't really care for in regards to Shep's Subdivision is if you are commuting from the GTA, that's going to be very tough just because you have to go through all the way through Cambridge in order to get to the highway, and it's quite a ways away, especially with some of the bottlenecks here that happen on Highway 24, which is this arterial road which connects from 401 all the way to Shep's Division, where you have a small bridge and then you're in Shep's Division. So that's one thing to be cognizant of, is there is some traffic, especially here through the center of Cambridge. Now, another great thing about North Dumfries is you have a lot of land within this area and a lot of custom built homes on larger lots, and one of them currently up for sale, $2.15 million. It's a bungalow, 2,600 square feet above grade, over 2 acres of land. And of course, this isn't really rural, it's more of a larger community of larger estate homes on, of course, 2 acres of land. And this is $2.15 million. And I think this does have great value. It's just looking for the right buyer. So if you are looking in this area, there are estate homes as well. And if you're looking to build, North Dumfries is another great location too. If you want to build a custom home, you source the land, you can find from a farmer or find somebody that has some access land and you want to sever it. That's also an option too in this area. You can build a custom built home to your liking. Now, finally, on the very southern side, we have the town of Branchton. Now, Branchton is very small. It's really far out. I haven't even been there myself too often, maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, because it's really off the beaten path. You're not really in Brantford, you're not really in Cambridge, but you definitely are closer to Cambridge. And it's just really a small little area here, maybe a few hundred people, if that. So it's really off the beaten path. You do have some access here to Highway 8 if you are looking to go to Dundas or Hamilton. And then of course on the southern bound, you can go to Brantford. So you're kind of in the middle of everything. But then again, if you are commuting to the city of Mississauga or Brampton, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Most times you're actually going to go south through Burlington and Oakville and up this way to get to your destination.